And so it's just, seeking him on being able to pin this thing down and know exactly what Satan is and what his real name is, what her real name is. And so that's some of the things I've been working on that I thought I would have done by tonight and be able to share with you guys, but I'm far from being done with that. But it's very interesting when you get into the stuff that, some of the stuff that I'm still, that I'm waiting on the Lord to teach me, and I know is just blowing some of you guys away because you haven't even gotten past the basics on who these fallen angels are, who these aliens are, what their agenda is on Earth. And so I know I'm way ahead of a lot of people, so that's why I just tend to backtrack a lot. I have recordings on my websites, and everything the Lord teaches me I write. I told him a long time ago, anything he taught me I would reteach his people. And so I write about it in almost everything he teaches me in my articles that are on my websites. SherryShriner.com, you can go to SherryTalkRadio.com. And I try to keep them updated. I'm not too real proficient at keeping things updated because I'm doing so many things at once. I have a million things to do. And I don't have any help. I'm just doing this all myself. And I have 4 kids on top of this. So I'm a busy person. But I do the best I can. And I know my blog has suffered because I've been paying more attention to broadcasts lately than keeping my blogger updated. But if you have a question, so I have to switch over here now. Sure sounds great. Yeah, thanks. Sky trip. Some of you out there want to go on an Enoch trip with me. Don't go without me. I want to go. Yeah. I asked first. The Lord can't give you what you don't ask him, folks. And some of you just think, well, I could never ask that. He'd never give that to me. Really? Well, ask him. Build a relationship with the Lord. It starts with communicating with him. And what you want from him, ask. I have an article about how people pray amiss. I mean, they pray for material things and they want a house, they want a car, they want a job, and they don't bother to ever pray and ask for spiritual things. Strength, discernment. Discernment is something everybody needs to pray for. I pray for it constantly. You never have enough discernment. Wisdom, boldness, and boldness, folks, that just comes from daily walking in the Lord. Because the more you see what he can do and he does, the more confident you become in him. And so it just becomes an inward thing. It becomes who you are. Because you've seen him and you've seen how he works in your life. And so without a doubt, that he's there with you. And so that's where boldness comes in. Because the opposite of fear is boldness. And what does he say about his people? He says that the fearful will be cast into the lake of fire because the fearful don't know him. Those who know him become very bold in him because their confidence is in him. And it starts with having a relationship with him. And you can't be bold in him if you don't have a relationship in him. So many people think that, okay, when martial law hits America is when I'll straighten up and I'll come back to the Lord. I'll get off the fence. I'll rededicate my life. When I start to see things happen, because right now you just want to live your lives of sin, and you want to do the things that you're doing. You don't want to have to dedicate, commit to the Lord. And I'll tell you what, you simply won't be ready for that, because Christians now need to strengthen their spirits in the Lord. Because when martial law comes, it's not just going to be, okay, we're going to round you up, throw you in one of these Halliburton camps funded by Dick Cheney's company. Yeah, he's sitting back salivating over the thought of killing Christians, folks. I'm telling you. They have it all planned to round up Christians. The Antichrist war and the saints, you're not even going to see it coming. It's just going to happen. And you're not going to realize it's the Antichrist war on the saints. All of a sudden there's just going to be martial law roundups, and people are going to be rounded up and taken to these fenced-in areas, and they're going to be put on trains and taken to these camps where they're going to be killed. It's going to be an American Holocaust, just like it was in Auschwitz for the Jews. That's how they're going to come after the Christians in America. It's going to be one quick swoop. And they can kill about 100,000, 200,000 people a day in these facilities. And that might be a conservative number. I've heard the one in Alaska alone can kill 100,000 a day. And we have them all over the country here. And you say, well, I haven't seen any. But you laugh every time people talk about it and show pictures of these camps on the internet. They get mocked, and the people revealing this info get ridiculed, called conspiracy theorists, called freaks. And that's their one handle to get you not to believe what you're being told, is to mock and discredit people, because then you won't read what they're saying. If they can discredit everybody who's got good information and call them conspiracy theorists, people who hold the truth, then a lot of other people are less likely to read what those people have to say because they're being branded as conspiracy theorists. And so they give a negative connotation to the word conspiracy theorist. And exactly what is a conspiracy, folks? You know, conspiracy is just unanswered questions around an event. That's what creates a conspiracy, unanswered questions. But what happens when a conspiracy is proven true? You know, and then all of a sudden nobody wants to hear the truth because it's already been branded as conspiracy, and so questioning it is just unthinkable. And the people who are questioning it are just a bunch of kooks. And that's what the government wants you to think. That's how they get by with everything, folks. There's no accountability. And the people who do try to hold them accountable are branded as kooks. Conspiracy theorists. They label them and brand them. Anyway, back to Enoch. He talks about 200 angels that meet on Mount Hermon. And they make a pact amongst each other. And they decide, they realize they're going to be in judgment for what they're about to do. That's why they made a pact, that they would all come down together, because they knew they were going to get in trouble from the Lord for leaving heaven and coming down to earth, because their job was to be watchers of the earth, to be watchers of His creation. And this is apart from Satan, folks. This is a totally different angelic rebellion here. Okay? There's 200 angels that meet on Mount Hermon. And so they make a pact, and they start taking human women as wives. Okay? And because of this, in other words, I don't know if they came down with their UFOs or how they were taking these women, but you know what's going on at this time. There's just massive abductions going on. The women are being raped that are here on earth by these angels, these tall giants, because angels are very tall. Unless, you know, you're talking about the ones that fly around the throne, and we're not going to get into those. But angels are pretty tall, folks. And so these human women, these women that are on earth at the time, are just being picked up and abducted and kidnapped and raped by these angelic beings. And so children are born as a result of this. Somehow through all this, some of the angels actually befriend mankind and start to show them various aspects of how to do things. And Enoch depicts who did what. And he'll go through about 10 of these angels that led tens and tens of thousands of these angels into this rebellion, into showing them how to make music, how to play music, weapons of warfare, started teaching them warfare, how to build cities, even makeup and jewelry. There was one of them that were teaching the women how to make makeup and jewelry. And so Enoch depicts who did what and who was teaching what. And it was all part of this angelic rebellion to come to earth and create a hybrid seed here on earth with their own angelic seed with human seed. And that's where we got the giants from. And Enoch talks about 2 of these giants. They were brothers. One was 33 farthings or fathoms tall. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a foot or a yard or exactly how tall that is. It's somewhere between 3 and 4 stories high. And the other one was 30. So there's just a couple. One was just a bit shorter than the other. And these were brothers. And so these are giants. You can imagine a giant that's 4 stories high. You know, on our Hollywood television, all we ever see is dinosaurs, chasing humans. They don't show giants chasing humans, because what happened was they would eat up to 500 cattle a day. And when the cattle ran out, they had no more cattle around them to eat, they would start eating humans. And so this has been, pretty telling of the kind of world pre-Noah that was going on before the Lord destroyed the world with the flood. And so you had these giants on the earth, and